afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Center City Park. My name is Amy Grossmann. I'm the president and CEO of the North Carolina Folk Festival, and I want to welcome you to today's announcement about the 2021 North Carolina Folk Festival that'll be September 10th through 12th. Before I do that, I want to acknowledge and thank the folks who've joined us here, and you're going to be hearing from today: Mayor Nancy Vaughan, Councilman Justin Outling, Scott Baker with Towne Bank, and Henri Fourrier with the Greensboro Convention and Visitors Bureau. So thank you all for being part of this. I also want to thank our elected officials who are here. Nancy Hoffman with the Greensboro City Council, Tammy Thurm, also with the Greensboro City Council, and Senator Michael Garrett. Thank you all so much for being here. You know, this past year has presented many challenges for all of us. I think that's an understatement, both professionally and personally, but we are feeling very blessed to be emerging from that now with renewed health and a commitment to celebrating who we are and how we contribute our talents to our community, to our families, and for some, to the public. It is in this spirit of celebrating community and diversity with the public through the cultural arts and creative expressions that we are thrilled to announce that the 2021 North Carolina Folk Festival will be presented live, in person, as a gathering in the streets of downtown Greensboro this September 10th to 12th. You know, since 2015, we have hosted this transformational gathering in Greensboro for our residents and for visitors to our community. We've worked very closely with and continue to be supported by the City of Greensboro in this annual endeavor. To share some thoughts on behalf of the City of Greensboro, I'd like to invite Mayor Nancy Vaughan to come and speak.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here. I think a few years ago when it was announced that we were going to have the National Folk Festival, we didn't really realize the impact that it was going to have on our city. And do you know that the Folk Festival is one of the top 20 global events when it comes to the number of people who come to our city? That is an amazing number. What it does for our community and our businesses and our stature throughout the globe, really, you can't count. I remember when I heard about the Folk Festival the first time, I thought, what is folk music? I'm not even sure I know what that is. And that first time that we had it in downtown Greensboro, folk music is everything. It started with Jewish wedding music, and it ended with Grandmaster Funk. Everything in between was at the Folk Festival. There is something for everyone, and most importantly, it's free. It's a free event that everybody can come down and enjoy in a great atmosphere. And I think that is one of the most fun events that we have. You know, it was difficult last year doing it virtually, but they did a great job partnering with the Blues Festival. The Blues Festival had their first in-person event last weekend downtown, and it was fabulous. And I know that this Folk Festival is going to be just as great. I am so excited for what's going to happen September 10th through 12th. I hope everybody marks their calendars, because this is where you've got to be. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Vaughan. You know, just a couple of years ago, a community-centric bank expanded its presence to the Triad region of our state with a new branch that opened in Greensboro just a little over a year ago. We have proudly welcomed Towne Bank into our festival family as a presenting sponsor and a partner in producing the North Carolina Folk Festival. So I'd like to invite Scott Baker from Towne Bank to come up and share some thoughts.
Thank you, Amy, and I think it's important for all of us to recognize Amy and her team, all the work that they've done. I want to thank the city, the leaders for allowing it to come back in person. I think the partnership that everyone displayed on getting us back to this event is wonderful to see. I'm encouraged just as a participant, let alone being able to be a sponsor for it. So applause to you, Amy, and your team. Thank you for that. You know, obviously at Towne Bank, one of our mottos is serving others and enriching lives, and this festival aligns greatly with that because it's focused on our entire community, and it brings people together, as Mayor Vaughan mentioned and Amy mentioned. It brings our diverse cultural community together in a way that is fun, celebratory, exciting, and people just get to mingle and meet with one another, and that's great, and it's vibrant because it brings economic impact and it brings social impact that's beneficial to us that, as Mayor Vaughan said, you cannot put a price tag on. And so for us, through serving others and enriching lives, this is an experience that does just that in another way. And so we're thankful to participate in that. I want to say that we're strongly committed to our partnership with the Folk Festival. They have been great in how they run the organization. You feel very good about participating, as it's family friendly and exciting to bring my children down, young children, older children, and everyone can participate and feel good about being there. And so I want to thank you and feel encouraged about that. Lastly, we are the presenting sponsor and we're proud of that, but there are a lot of other sponsors that have participated and made this event helpful over the years before us and now with us. And so I think it's important to recognize, acknowledge all the sponsors that participate in this event because it is a great event for our climate. And so I'm thankful for them and want to make sure they're acknowledged as well. So again, it's just a great time for Towne Bank to be with you, participate with the city, participate with the Folk Festival for all the right reasons, and so we appreciate that. And we'll let the wind keep blowing us down. All right, thank you.
That's always the thing about outdoor events. There's always something fun to deal with. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Scott, very much. Downtown Greensboro has been the site and home of the North Carolina Folk Festival every year, and we are proud to be part of a growing, developing, vibrant downtown community of businesses, residents, and arts lovers. So, City of Greensboro Councilman Justin Outling, whose district includes downtown Greensboro, will now come up and share some thoughts.
Wow, talk about really terrific news. Yeah, I am a person who is not exactly young, so I should probably not use the word giddy, but it actually describes the feeling that I'm experiencing now. Giddy about the prospect of spending September and a wonderful weekend listening to music with each and every one of you. My wife Cora and I, we have two little ones, 10 and 8. Some of our favorite memories from their childhood will be folk festivals of the past, so we're looking forward to creating new memories this coming September. As Amy and others mentioned, 2020 was a really trying and difficult year. But notwithstanding that reality, everyone at the Folk Festival did an absolutely amazing job conducting it virtually. That said, I imagine that I, like many of you, are probably looking forward to doing it in person, and that's something we can all definitely celebrate. But no effort, whether it's virtual or in person, happens without a lot of help and a lot of support. So definite thanks to Towne Bank, all of the other wonderful sponsors, obviously the City of Greensboro, all of our public safety officials, and all of the volunteers that make that tremendous event go. So, in closing, thanks to everyone involved. Look forward to seeing you in September. And again, thank you for all that you do for the City of Greensboro in helping us showcase our wonderful city, including our downtown.
Thank you, Justin, and we're giddy with you, and hopefully you can express that giddiness through dance, maybe, at the festival. We'd like to...
We'll see about that.
Great. In addition to serving as a gathering place for our home community's residents, the North Carolina Folk Festival attracts thousands of travelers and visitors from outside our region who get the chance to enjoy the incredible performances and experience a little Greensboro hospitality through our impeccable restaurants, our shops, our parks, our hotels, and other family attractions. To share a little bit more on this, I'd like to invite Henri Fourrier, the President and CEO of the Greensboro Convention and Visitors Bureau, up to the podium.
Thank you, Amy. The best part about going last is that you get to say everything over again what everybody already said. I'm teasing, but I do want to take a little bit different approach and give you all some history. I think history is important. In 2014, the Greensboro Arts Council, the Greensboro CVB, the City of Greensboro, and the Greensboro community successfully submitted and secured a 3-year contract to host the National Folk Festival. The successful growth of that event resulted in the formation of what we see here today, the North Carolina Folk Festival in 2018. The Folk Festival continues to be a grand event for local enthusiasts as well as regional and national travelers. Last year was an experience for us all, like no other, and the North Carolina Folk Festival persevered and maintains its presence in the national marketplace by hosting an online virtual event. The board had the wisdom to get together and said, if we stop, we lose momentum, so we got to do something, and they did, and they knocked it out of the park. So thanks for that. The Greensboro CVB, and I know the entire Greensboro community, is elated that today's announcement of a full in-person North Carolina Folk Festival. It is exciting to see that this event has grown into one of the largest events produced by Greensboro, and we hope to see all of you out there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Henri, and thank you, Mayor Vaughan, Scott, Councilman Outling, for all of your kind words of support. And, since many of you have mentioned it, the virtual concert series that we did last year, we were very proud of that for a number of reasons, for all the reasons that you've said. But there was a great intentionality behind how we put that program together, trying to pair incredible artists and live performances with locations around our community across the entire county that have historic and cultural significance. So if any of you have not yet had a chance to check that out, I encourage you to do it, of course. You can go to our YouTube channel, NC Folk Festival, or if you can't find us there, just go to our website and click on the little link for YouTube. Really beautifully shot and we partnered with another Greensboro-based company, 7 Cinematics, to film that, and they did an absolutely beautiful job. So, again, thank you all. The festival truly is a culmination of the amazing support of our civic leadership, of our sponsors, our staff, our volunteers, and community members who value our mission to honor, celebrate, and share the folk and traditional arts with audiences in Greensboro. So now I get the exciting opportunity to talk a little bit about what, for many people, is the heart and soul of a music festival, and that is the performances and the performers who are going to be there. The performers in the performing industry, the cultural arts industry, has also struggled, and as you all can imagine, with live events being shot down, they've pivoted, they've transformed, they're very resilient, but they're also very excited to get back to getting in front of live audiences. So I'm really excited to share a first big announcement with you all on the first performer that we have confirmed for this year's festival. We are very pleased to announce that bluegrass legend Del McCoury and his band will cap off our evening performances on the first night of the festival, Friday, September 10th. For those of you who are bluegrass fans, I guarantee you're familiar with Del McCoury. And for those of you who aren't, let me fill you in on a couple of key notes. Aside from just being a 14-time Grammy-nominated artist with 2 wins, by the way, Del McCoury has deep North Carolina roots. He was born and was raised in York County, Pennsylvania, but his parents are from Mitchell, out in western North Carolina. And they relocated the family up to Pennsylvania just before Del was born in search for work. So he grew up in a very musical family that was steeped in the musical traditions of western North Carolina. And he became enthralled as a youngster with the banjo playing of North Carolina's very own Earl Scruggs from Shelby. That influenced his music. He became incredibly proficient at the banjo, so much so that the father of bluegrass himself, Bill Monroe, invited Del to join his band. Del actually switched during that time from banjo to guitar, which is what you see him play now. He also became the lead singer of Bill's band. So he's had a very long career in the bluegrass field. During a period of his time when he wasn't touring constantly, he did work in the trades, doing construction and logging. But there was a big resurgence in interest in bluegrass in the 1990s, and so that's when he and his two sons formed the Del McCoury Band, and everything just took off. In 2003, Del became a member of the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee. In 2008, he formed a new bluegrass festival in Cumberland, Maryland called Del Fest that still goes on to this day. In 2010, he was awarded our nation's highest honor for folk and traditional artists, the National Heritage Fellowship that was presented to him by the National Endowment for the Arts. In 2011, he was inducted into the International Bluegrass Hall of Fame. There are numerous other accolades that it would take me a full hour to read them all, so I'm not going to do that to you right now. But I just want to, we are just so incredibly thrilled that Del is going to be able to join us this year and cap off our performances. So I want to thank, again, the City of Greensboro, Town Bank, the Greensboro Convention and Visitors Bureau for your support of the return of the North Carolina Folk Festival to the streets of Greensboro. In the coming weeks, we'll have lots more announcements. You know, now that we're able to confidently say that we're going to have an in-person festival, the team is working really hard to drill in and focus on all the details that everyone wants to know about what they can expect about this year's event. So stay tuned. If you're not yet signed up to receive our newsletter, please do so. And of course, the other thing that we'll be announcing soon is volunteer opportunities. I know there are several of you I recognize and I know have been part of our volunteer team. So we'll have more news to share on that really soon.